And we're back. Welcome to Minding Your Business on News Talk 1380, the Antelope Valley, North LA County source for your news now. This is the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. I'm Chris Spiker. I have Antelope Valley Florist and my co-host Aaron Goldstein, Goldstein Digital, but he's over running the camera right now. Final guest of the day, Brian and Bart Avery, Bravery Brewing. Hey guys.
Hey Chris, thank you for inviting us out today. Appreciate that.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
You guys are big deals in many ways. And I was just looking, Bravery and Avery. Did you do that on purpose? Probably so.
You got us on that one, Brian, if you want to explain that to Chris.
Yeah, there's a bit of a double meaning to the name, Bravery. So obviously this is a very pro-military community out here, and we at Bravery definitely support the troops and support our veterans back home. But before I got into brewing, I was working on television sets, and you're working with a crew of 90 people, there's bound to be another Brian. So everyone was calling me by my last name, Avery, and then one guy had the bright idea of combining the two and making
Avery.
it Bravery, actually.
Yeah.
So when we were trying to come up with a name for it, we didn't want to call it Lancaster Brewing Company. That was a little too boring, but Bravery kind of stuck with us, and we've had it ever since.
And you've got Lee Ermey involved too.
Yeah, he's one of our partners, so that's just another element to the whole pro-military kind of thing.
I'm kind of slow, but it's all making sense, and it's a great story.
Yeah.
So you guys are over on 8th Street West?
Just south of Avenue L.
Yeah.
We
Kind of an industrial area there.
It is, but a lot of craft breweries, especially in Southern California, are kind of hidden away in a very similar type location that we are in. And it really doesn't matter. I mean, I know with your business, you
got to be on the corner.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, everybody knows where your business is because of your wonderful sign out front. That I think I've been on it a couple times. I know my wife has, and I think you put our business on there once, and we appreciate that. But in craft beer, you can sort of get away with being hidden away, kind of like a speakeasy.
They find you.
I mean, when I go into a town, I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico recently, and I just got out my phone and looked on an app, and I said, "Who's the best brewery anywhere around this hotel we were staying at?" And you just find them.
Sounds like a business trip, Bart.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were doing your research.
It was a business trip. Of course it was. It was a tax write-off, I'm sure. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Well, it's all part of doing business.
Anyway, location in our business, it's actually better sometimes to be not on the beaten path.
Right.
So it works for us quite well.
And you guys have been open how many years? How many months?
We're coming up on 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Our anniversary date, which is also kind of goes with our whole theme, is the 4th of July. So every 4th of July we celebrate another anniversary, and this year we're actually going to celebrate it on the 3rd, which is a Sunday, because we figure nobody's going to be working on Monday the next day. So that'll be our 4th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
So you put in a new tank, or you doubled. What did you do?
Several new tanks.
New facility?
Yeah, so we acquired the warehouse adjacent to us. It's an additional 6,000 square feet. And all new brewing equipment, all new fermenters, which ultimately we will increase our production by 25 times over what we did last year.
Wow.
So very, very sizable.
Yeah.
And this is something that has kind of been in the works for the last year and a half or so. And we just finally started brewing on the newest system in April. So
what, did somebody dare you or something?
We started really small. We really underestimated the demand for craft beer in this valley, and because when we opened in 2012, we were only trailing Kinetic Brewing, also in Lancaster, by 5 months. But when we were both in our planning phases, we actually weren't aware of one another. So the last thing we wanted to do was start too big and make too much beer, because quality and freshness are
You don't want to be throwing too much away.
Yeah, and the last thing I wanted to do was sit on a huge stockpile of beer that I couldn't sell to the valley.
Yeah.
But we quickly realized that we really underestimated the demand for it, and so we've just been playing catch up ever since.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have.
It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
And so have we opened up too many breweries?
Absolutely not.
Okay. There's room for
a lot more. Yeah,
a lot more.
We always talk about wine country, and
Uh-huh.
people wouldn't make the trek to wine country if there's only one vineyard. So
Wow.
Yeah.
So are people making the trek to craft beer country?
absolutely, we've had so many groups of people come and say that they drove all the way from San Diego just to visit our tasting room.
Beer tourism.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
very humbling. It's really awesome to see that we're drawing in so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. So this is like a new industry.
absolutely.
And what's the event? The field of
Drafts.
drafts over at Jethawk Stadium.
Yeah, so
You guys are involved in that, right?
we are.
Because
We
you were
are.
at the press conference.
Yeah, I've given kind of like a little keynote speech at each of the press conferences so far, and it's getting better each year. It's we're still pushing for it to be a more pro craft event, but it's rallying all the people. It's getting all the craft beer lovers in the valley to come out. I know people do come from outside of the valley as well to join the event. Yeah, it's a great way to enjoy beer. Beer is a social thing, and to go out with your family and friends and just have fun and share beers with one another. It's perfect.
I'm not a beer drinker myself, but
That's unfortunate.
you sell sodas.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah.
You enjoy the smell though when you come in or brewing though, right?
It doesn't bother me.
Okay, it doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to touch on something. A lot of people have a misconception about the movement that we're involved with, and you know, you just hit on it. People say like, well, what about these 2 new breweries in Palmdale that just opened up? How's that affecting your business? Our business has exploded since those 2 breweries opened up, and in our culture, we want more breweries to come up to the Antelope Valley. I know that sounds kind of anti what you probably like your business. You know, you don't want 8 more flower stores opening up, you know, within a half a mile of you. I
Right.
mean, it's more competition for you. For us, it actually brings more people out and into the area. And ideally, we would like to see, I would say, another 6 or 8 breweries up here. We could certainly handle it. The city of Portland, Oregon has 620,000 people. They have 62 breweries. That's
Wow.
1 brewery for every 10,000 people. And if you walk the streets of Portland like we did last year, it's like Starbucks. I mean, literally every corner has a brewery, and they're all successful and they're all packed. And
People are sipping beer. They're not washing it down in buckets.
that's part of it. And there's just so much diversity in craft beer, and people just they have a yearning to find the next great thing, and they'll go from brewery to brewery. Sorry, that's a hard word to say. And just see what's there and just explore. And like at our place, we're constantly changing the menu. We have, generally speaking, 30 beers on tap, and pretty much every week when you come in, there's something different.
Something different.
So
That is, people like something different.
It's a special thing. But anyway, my point is, like, we, believe it or not, we want more breweries, and it's not competition. It's like Brian said, it's wine country. We want to have a lot of breweries to make the people come up here from San Diego or whatnot. So
I had not thought about tourism. That's awesome.
It is.
You know, we have an empty freeway on certain days for coming north.
Why
for
not
coming
use it?
north. Why not use it? Come on up Saturday, have a nice breakfast, go over to the brewery, have a couple of beers, head on home. No traffic. I mean, it's a natural.
Absolutely.
People don't know all the neat things that go on in the Antelope Valley.
Absolutely.
Chamber of Commerce was talking about a city ordinance, and I called you guys because you're all over Facebook talking about it. Ordinance 1013,
Correct.
and this is, why was 1013 started? What were I'm sure there were good intentions.
You know, we actually don't know where the genesis of 1013 was. We understand now that the city is concerned, and rightfully so, about well, it's pretty much liquor stores in Lancaster that are having issues with some people doing things in the parking lot, perhaps that aren't that you don't want to see. Without me getting into too much detail, you can use your imagination.
It's a single serving.
Well,
sorta.
they want to make it where apparently a lot of the people that they're having problems with perhaps have a problem with alcohol, and they will go and just go in and panhandle and get their $2 and get their single serve. So the ordinance basically is trying to address that and make aware you can only buy 6 beers at a time, for example, and get rid of the single serve option for people. That's the gist of it. We're exempted as breweries as far as selling single serve in our brewery.
Yeah.
But our beer is pretty expensive too. I mean, it's great, it's worth it, but $5 to $18 a bottle.
Somebody's not going to go into your place and buy an $18 bottle of beer and sit out in the parking lot.
No.
No. Brian, what you got? I got you a minute left.
Yeah, the ordinance is really problematic though because it's addressing a symptom and not the cause. They are really trying to target panhandlers, loiterers, vagrancy in general, and that's a good thing to try to address, but
Maybe not through prohibition.
Exactly, because these liquor stores, there's 47 to be exact in Lancaster, they're going to be affected by this ordinance. Anywhere from 30 to 45% of their gross sales is this single serve alcohol sales. And I can't think of any business that could lose up to 45% of its day-to-day operation gross sales and still stay afloat. So it's...
And also run the risk of breaking the law.
Yeah, so I'm concerned with this because if these liquor stores close, because we do sell 22-ounce bottles all around the Antelope Valley, that's one less shelf that I have the opportunity to sell my products. But also, these liquor stores will go out of business. It's anti-local business, and this ordinance is exempting retailers that are 10,000 square feet or larger. So all the
there you go.
Yeah, all the grocery stores will still be able to sell.
Yeah,
these
no more.
products.
Yeah,
And it's just targeting mom and pop businesses. So
I don't like that.
I'm very.
Sounds like we need to talk about this a little more.
So that's what I've been
And
trying to do.
we are.
Okay.
And we are, yes.
So is it going to become law in 6 months, or we have 6 months to?
Hopefully not. I mean, technically, yes. They voted. It will go into effect automatically, I believe, January 1st of 2017. But they're giving us a chance. Mostly the Liquor Store Coalition is getting together to see if they can sort of clean up the act, so to speak. And if that's the case, they may change the law or perhaps get rid of it. We're not sure.
Well, thank you for coming on, Brian and Bart Avery, Bravery Brewing, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you. Yep. Cheers.